drilling the right hole, right?
I like to live life on the dangerous side.
This is super sketchy. Oh. You recording? Oh, okay. What's going on, y'all? How we doing? This is Yeti from Yeti Machine Company. It's your first time watching my channel. Thanks for showing up and watching, or thanks to the YouTube algorithm for sending me your way. Today, working on a 1998 Dyna. It's got an oil pan leak. Common problem with these is the thread strip on the oil pan drain. I wouldn't necessarily say that this is the right way to fix it or the wrong way. There's a lot of different ways to skin a cat, but this is how I'm gonna do it on this one. A lot of the times you gotta replace the pan, but on this one I'm actually gonna try to repair it, and I guess we'll see how it goes. What's going on, y'all? It's Yeti from Yeti Machine Company. If you're watching this, I appreciate you. If you do already subscribe to my page, awesome. If not, go subscribe, go give it a like. Also, just so you know, if you check out the link up top, got my website up there. I got shirts, I got hats, I got all kinds of cool stuff. So hit that up, get a shirt, support me. Thanks, y'all. I bought this bike from one of my friends, Juice. Shout out to my boy Juice. Got it back up and running. I put an 8-over front end on it. I think it looked cool. I like long front ends, but this thing was all jacked up. I got these big ass T-bars I put on, new grips. I put Race Tech Gold Valve emulators. I put the preload adjusters. Then I ended up selling it to my buddy D-Lo. And shout out D-Lo, you crazy. He bought it. He was way too short for it, so he could barely reach the floor, but he rode it as much as he could. And then he ended up selling it to my other friend, Mitch. If you go back a couple videos, he was actually in the video when we went to go get a panhead in Vegas. So this is his Dyna. So we got to do some repairs on this bike. First thing I did is I fixed the gas tank. The gas tank was fucked up. It was leaking. I also have a crack back here in this fender that I'm probably going to repair later on. But the bigger issue that was going on was over here. So on the later Evo Dynas, you have a oil pan, kind of like a twin cam. They're very similar to how the twin cams are set up, where your engine oil and your transmission share this funky ass oil pan. So you have two drain plugs. You have a drain plug here. This is for the transmission. So the transmission actually drains through the oil pan. It doesn't share that cavity with oil. And then you have your engine oil. There's some pretty tight bolts to get up in there to get it out, but you can get it out on the bike. You don't have to pull a motor, at least on this Evo. Now, one thing that I've seen on a lot of these bikes and the twin cam bikes is people over torque this oil drain bolt. And this one, threads are mollywopped. So there's a couple different options in this scenario. You could buy a brand new oil pan, or in this case it would actually probably be an NOS, like a used one that someone had on the shelf, but they're kind of expensive. I looked around on like eBay and shit, and we're talking like $400 to $600 for this fucking thing. We could also weld up the hole and re-tap it. That's an option. I am unfortunately not the best aluminum welder, especially not the best cast aluminum welder. Being that this is my buddy and I have a special relationship with this bike, I'm gonna try to do it a little bit cheaper. So first thing I'm gonna try is what's called a key insert. So any of you guys that are out there that are machinists, you've probably seen these in fixture tables. They're pretty neat little inserts. Essentially, it's kind of like a helicoil, but better. It's a solid piece. And so what you do is you put that down in your metal, and then you tap these little pins in, and it locks it into place. It's a permanent insert besides drilling it out. The only thing I'm a little nervous about is if it's going to seal very well. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is giving it a nice coat of like silicone or some other type of like heavy bonding sealant, and hopefully that's the end of that. This little insert was like $5. I have a set of taps. The factory drain plug on these is 1/2 inch by 20, which is a relatively common thread size. So I got a 1/2 inch by 20 key insert, and that's what we're gonna use. On the top of this hole, it's got kind of like a bevel, like an indentation. What that's for, if you look at the drain plug, see how it's got a little bit of a narrow diameter on the drain plug? This is designed to use an O-ring. So when this goes in, the O-ring gets captured by this. First things first, we have to drill and tap this hole to be 5/8 by 11 in this case. So the outside threads are 5/8 by 11. The tap drill size for a 5/8 by 11 is 17/32, I believe. I have one. If you're just doing this once, you can probably go get a cheap one from Harbor Freight or Amazon, link in bio, and do it that way. I am drilling the right hole, right? All right. I'm being super ghetto right now. People are gonna make fun of me. Most people would use tapping fluid, but
I like to live life on the dangerous side.
run the tap all the way down. You don't need to, but I like to. Run it all the way up. All right, so the threads look pretty good. I'm not mad about that. Okay, so that'll put our little countersink in there. There is an installation tool, and of course my cheap ass didn't buy it. So I said, oh, just thread it in by hand, it should be fine. Okay. I wonder if I can take these out.
Oh, so you just pop back in?
Yeah, I don't know where the other one went.
Right here.
You found it? Hell yeah! Alright, cool. So, actually what we're gonna do is we're gonna get fucking goofy. Yeah. We're gonna get a little goofy. I'm gonna screw this in with this guy. Donde va? Is it gonna be? Ah, of course it is. Son of a bitch.
Wait, hey, hold it. No, stop. Now flip it over, and then hold the insert, because it should be sticking out a little bit, right?
Should be.
Hold the insert, and then try to unthread the bolt.
Maybe. You might have an idea there. Okay. Well, either way, I want to take it back out because I want to put sealant on it. This isn't my normal right stuff, but it'll work. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's stuck. That's great. Fucking.
It's just eternally squirting.
Yep. Eternal squirts. I made a fucking mess out of that. Bring my rag real quick here. Put that back in there like that. Oop. Okay. So the insert's fully seated. And then we'll stake it. So, use this as like a spacer. Alright. There we go. Fucking winning, dude. Okay. Alright. So that insert is locked in. That thing is never going to back out on its own. I don't like that it's a little bit proud, but I think I can go back over with a like a grinder or a little flat disc and kind of flatten it out. Hopefully that works. Guess we'll see. That should seal. So what we'll do is we'll run a 1/2-20 tap through it to clean up those holes. Yeah, that might work with the O-ring. It'll definitely work with the rubber washer. Oh yeah, so you can feel it hit the O-ring. Oh yeah, that's gonna seal up nice, dude. Fuck yeah. This is like quenching oil that I just have laying around, so I'm gonna pour it in there and see if my repair leaks. So now we know that that's completely submerged in oil. Obviously it's got a bunch of shit in it, don't worry about that. Then just let this thing sit and see if it starts dripping. But I don't think it will. I think it's gonna actually work out really well. So I'm hyped on that because that's gonna save him like $400 fucking dollars. Looks like this is dry. I don't see anything dripping. It's only been sitting for about 10-15 minutes. We're gonna continue to let that sit. So I'm gonna clean up a little bit and we're gonna reset, and then we got something else we're gonna dig into. What's going on, y'all? It's Yeti Machine Company. We're back working on my buddy Mitch's, used to be my buddy Delo's, used to be mine, used to be my buddy Josh's 1998 Super Glide. The last time we were filming with this thing, I was working on the oil pan. I didn't really film much of the stuff that I did since then. We got the new oil pan in, no leaks, no problems. So I went ahead and put on a new TC Bros wave rotor, new caliper pin, bled the system. The other thing that we did that was kind of fun, which again I didn't film, sorry. Mitch bought a used thunder header for this bike. When you're buying them used, you need to be real careful because it can bolt up to the motor, but if it's not designed for your specific chassis, sometimes you can run into problems. I think that this setup was either for a soft tail or for something with forward controls. This head pipe did not fit with his mid controls. So the head pipes didn't fit. So what I ended up doing was I took the Vance & Hines pipe, I cut the old collector off that made it a 2-in-1, and then I took the thunder header that he'd already bought used, because you can't really return used parts, and spliced the collector off the back of the head pipes and put it onto the Vance & Hines. Now what this did is this actually shortened the exhaust. I also kicked it up a little bit to give it a little more flair. And then I went ahead and made this custom exhaust mount out of some material that I had laying around. Put a cool little twist in it. So he's got a custom thunder header on this thing. Obviously it's gonna rust and shit where I ground it. He might be able to get one of those covers to go over, or he might send it out and get it re-chromed if he likes it. So the other problem that it had was the rear fender was cracked. Now I'm not a paint and body guy, but I was able to strip the paint away, weld the cracks, and I kind of half-ass painted it. It's good if you squint your eyes and are far away from it. So the next thing that I'm going to do on this bike is, unfortunately, at some point, somebody over-tightened this top triple tree. I don't know if you're going to be able to catch it on camera, but you can actually see a little crack from about here to here. Now, if you're on the road and you see this, it's definitely something you want to get fixed relatively soon, but I wouldn't put the bike down for it. But since we have it in here, I got a brand new top triple tree for this thing. I'm gonna swap that out. We're also gonna go ahead and swap the front brake rotor with one that matches the rear that we just did. And yeah, a couple other little things just to double check other people's work. But yeah, other than that, this thing's almost ready to go. So I'm gonna get it down off the lift and get it up on the jack. I just took it on a little rip around the block, and as you can see, it's dry as a bone under there. So no leaks for now. I'm sure eventually something else will start leaking on it because it's an old bike. So what I'm going to do first is get the wheel off, get it out of the way. But to do that, I also am going to be taking this fender off because I'm going to go ahead and slide these fork tubes completely off the bike. But when Mitch got it, he did some trading or something and swapped to 4-over tubes. And according to him, the guy that did it didn't change the fluid level, which is insane. Also, he wants to get rid of those preload adjusters because he doesn't really do any suspension tuning, he doesn't care, and he would rather have just the chrome cap. So I'm going to swap them out for some just some stock style chrome caps. So figure I might as well just blow the whole front end apart. I'm not gonna rebuild the front end, it's not leaking, but I do want to get each tube up in the vise and set and measure the fluid level just to verify. Because this bike's going with us on a big trip to Colorado here in about a month. So we want to make sure it's in tip-top shape and ready to ride. Clean this off a little bit, pack some more grease in it, and yeah, should be good to slap our other tree on there. Just double check, these are exactly the same. Yeah. Sweet. You can see it's just like a hairline crack starting to develop. That's from cranking these down too tight or cranking them without something in there, or I don't know. Haven't seen one do it, but I also don't over tighten these things. Some people talk shit on these bearing packers, but I love them. Makes the job a lot easier. Basically, pop your bearing on there. Screw your top back on. You can watch the grease get pushed out. There you go. Push all that old nasty shit out of there. If you want to get one of these, I'll put it on my Amazon store, and that way you guys can use one too. They're great for doing any of the Timken style bearings, wheel bearings, neck bearings, some of the swing arm bearings. Just kind of gives it a more uniform packing. Make sure it gets up and inside the bearing, and it's just a better way to do it. I still get grease all over my hands because I do this, but yeah. Some grease into the rollers to make sure that she's nice and lubed up. We'll slap her back together. There we go. Okay. All right, so we've got the new old top triple tree on there. So now it's pretty much, I'm just gonna reassemble slap the handlebars back on, and then we will move on to doing those, double checking the fork tubes and changing the caps for them. So easy shit. I've actually joined the 21st century. Got myself a set of soft jaws, so I'm not marring fork tubes. Not that I did, but figured better safe than sorry. And I could put a link for these on my on my Amazon as well. That way you guys won't mar your fork tubes. These are preload caps. Jesus Christ, can't talk. So what you would do is if you wanted to add more preload, you tighten this in. He has this maxed out low, so I'm just gonna take them off and put some nice chrome ones on for him. I'm a little nervous. This thing's gonna fucking get sent into the goddamn atmosphere. 'Cause who knows how much preload they put on this thing when they put it back together. This is super sketchy. Oh, Jesus Christ. So what it is when you tighten this thing in, it pushes down harder on this, which pushes down harder on the spring. So just for doing preload. I don't think that's the problem. I think he didn't put enough in there. Yeah, there's not enough fluid in there. There we go. Like 4 inches shorter than it should have been. Okay. Okay. Just got to do the same thing for this one. The fluid levels adjusted. They were actually low, not high, which is good. If they're a little bit low, it just makes it a little bit more springy. So we're okay with that. So now we'll slap them back in the triple trees. This is from TC Bros. This is their wave rotor. These rotors are actually pretty damn nice. I like them. I might be using them on other bikes. We'll see how they hold up as far as longevity. As far as quality goes, they look pretty good. So we'll get these slapped on here and then get the wheel back on. We're gonna go ahead and do the brakes real quick. Well, that's it for this one. If you like what you guys watched, do me a favor, go subscribe, like this video, leave me a comment. If you don't like it too, go ahead. If you want to support me, do me a favor, go check out my website. It's www.yetimachineko.com. Check me out on all social media. It's at Yeti Machine Co. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.